Have you ever felt that there's something greater inside you, something waiting to be unlocked? What if I told you that you are not just a passive observer of life, but the creator of your own reality? Most people go through life disconnected from their true potential, unaware that creativity is not just about making art. It is a force of transformation, a mystical connection between the mind, the universe, and the divine. But here's the truth. The distractions of the modern world keep you from tapping into this power. Fear, doubt, and routine suppress your ability to create and manifest the life you truly desire. Today, that changes. In this journey, you will discover why creativity is a spiritual act, how it transforms not only what you make, but who you become, and how synchronicity and divine inspiration guide those who are open to receiving them. And most importantly, you will embark on a powerful 8-day challenge designed to unlock your creative potential in ways you never imagined. But before we dive in, I have one important request. Many people watch these videos but aren't subscribed to the channel. If you believe this content can transform your perspective and help you unlock your true potential, subscribe now and turn on notifications. That way, you'll never miss powerful insights that can deepen your connection with creativity and the universe. Now pay close attention, because what you're about to learn could shift the way you see yourself, your ideas, and your place in the world. Are you ready to awaken the creator within? Creativity is not a gift bestowed upon a select few. It is a force that resides within every individual, waiting to be awakened. Yet, in a world drowning in distractions, few truly tap into this potential. The constant buzz of notifications, the weight of endless to-do lists, the noise of modern life, all conspire to pull us away from the present moment. And therein lies the paradox. Inspiration does not emerge from chaos, but from stillness. The greatest creators throughout history understood this secret. They did not chase ideas, they cultivated awareness. They learned to see what others overlooked, to find depth in the mundane, to listen when the universe whispered. To create is to be fully alive in the moment. Have you ever noticed how children immerse themselves in play, completely unaware of time? They are not burdened by the past or anxious about the future. They are simply present, and in that state, their imagination flows effortlessly. As adults, we lose this natural state of presence, allowing doubt and fear to suffocate our creative spirit. But what if reclaiming our creativity was as simple as reconnecting with the present? What if the secret to unlocking inspiration was not about seeking, but about noticing? The way light filters through the leaves, the rhythm of your own breath, the patterns in the seemingly random occurrences of life, these are the gateways to the creative realm. The spiritual journey of creation mirrors the journey of faith. Consider Moses, standing before the burning bush, a mere shepherd unaware that he was about to embark on a divine mission. Exodus 3:2-4. Had he been distracted, had he dismissed the moment as ordinary, he might have missed the voice of God entirely. Likewise, we often dismiss the sacred whispers in our own lives. Creativity demands that we pause, that we acknowledge the presence of something greater moving through us. It is in those moments of quiet observation that revelations unfold. The universe is not silent, it is always speaking. The question is, are we listening? There is a reason Jesus often withdrew to solitude to pray, Luke 5:16. Silence, stillness, and deep presence are essential for divine connection. If we want to create something meaningful, something infused with truth and soul, we must first cultivate the ability to be present. This means setting aside distractions, embracing moments of solitude, and learning to see the world with fresh eyes. What if, instead of rushing through our days, we treated each moment as sacred? What if every experience, no matter how small, carried within it a message waiting to be uncovered? Creativity and spirituality are not separate. They are intertwined. To create is to participate in the act of divine expression. The universe itself is a masterpiece in motion, an ever-unfolding work of art. And you, too, are a creator. But before you can shape anything external, you must first learn to be present with yourself, for it is in the now, this very moment, that the seeds of inspiration take root. Creativity is more than just producing something new. It is a profound act of transformation. Every time we create, we are reshaping not only the world around us, but also ourselves. There is a spiritual depth to this process, an unfolding of the soul that mirrors the way the universe itself evolves. When God formed the heavens and the earth, he did so through the power of his word. Genesis 1:1-3. Creation is not passive, it is an act of divine intention. Likewise, when we engage in creative work, we are participating in something sacred, something that transcends the material and touches the infinite. True creativity is not about mere self-expression, it is about self-discovery. The act of creating forces us to confront our inner world. When a writer faces a blank page, when a painter stares at an empty canvas, when a musician begins composing a melody, what they truly face is themselves, their doubts, their hopes, their beliefs, their fears. Creativity is a mirror that reflects the depths of who we are. This is why it can feel uncomfortable, even painful at times. Yet, it is through this discomfort that growth occurs. Just as fire refines gold, 1 Peter 1:7, the creative process refines us. It stretches our minds, expands our spirits, and deepens our connection to something greater than ourselves. Science affirms what spiritual traditions have long known: creativity changes the brain. Studies show that when we engage in creative activities, we activate regions associated with pleasure, reward, and neuroplasticity. The brain rewires itself, strengthening connections that allow for greater insight and problem-solving. But beyond the neurological effects, there is a mystical aspect to creation. Many spiritual traditions believe that to create is to align oneself with the divine. The Psalms declare, "Sing to the Lord a new song," Psalm 96:1, emphasizing the power of new expression as a form of worship. When we create, we open ourselves to divine inspiration, allowing the universe to flow through us in unexpected ways. Creativity also has the power to heal. There are countless stories of individuals who have found meaning and redemption through art, music, and storytelling. The act of creation can take pain and transform it into beauty. It can take chaos and shape it into order. Consider the story of Joseph, who endured betrayal, slavery, and imprisonment, only to rise to a position of immense influence. Genesis 50:20. His journey was one of transformation. What was meant for harm became a path to something greater. In a similar way, our creative expressions can turn suffering into something meaningful, something that speaks to the soul of another. To embrace creativity is to embrace transformation. It is a surrender to the unknown, a willingness to let go of control and trust in the process. The greatest works are not born from force, but from flow. When we release the need to dictate every detail and instead become vessels for inspiration, we step into a state of divine co-creation. Creativity is not just about making, it is about becoming. And the more we create, the more we discover who we truly are. One of the greatest barriers to true creativity is the need for control. We often approach creation with rigid expectations, clinging to preconceived ideas of how things should unfold. But creativity, much like faith, demands surrender. Consider the words of Proverbs 3:5. "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding." True creativity flourishes when we loosen our grip, when we allow ourselves to be guided rather than forcing the outcome. Just as a river makes its way by yielding to the natural flow of the earth, creative energy moves more freely when we let go and trust the process. Think of a surfer facing the ocean. He does not command the waves, he learns to ride them. If he fights against the current, he will be thrown off balance. But if he surrenders, if he aligns himself with the rhythm of the sea, he finds his flow. Creativity works the same way. The greatest artists, musicians, and visionaries do not force inspiration. They create space for it to arrive. They understand that the act of creation is a dance between structure and spontaneity, intention and surrender. The universe whispers ideas, but it is only those who are willing to listen, without fear, without control, who truly bring something new into the world. Spiritually, this principle is deeply rooted in faith. Abraham was called to leave everything familiar and step into the unknown. Genesis 12:1. He had no roadmap, no certainty, only trust, and it was through this surrender that his destiny unfolded. In our own creative journeys, we are often called to release our attachment to results. Maybe a painting does not turn out as expected. A business idea shifts direction. A project takes on a life of its own. The instinct may be to resist, to force things back into the box of our original vision. But what if the unexpected twist is actually divine redirection? What if by letting go, we are allowing something even greater to emerge? Many times we hesitate to create because of fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being good enough. But creativity is not about perfection, it is about expression. Some of the most celebrated works of art were once dismissed as failures. Vincent van Gogh, whose paintings now move millions, sold only a handful of works in his lifetime. Yet he continued to paint, not because of external validation, but because he was driven by something deeper, a calling to create. If he had clung to the world's expectations, his legacy would not exist. What dreams, what ideas are we holding back because we are afraid to release control? The act of letting go is not passive. It is an active choice to trust. It is about shifting from the mindset of ownership to one of stewardship. We do not own ideas. We channel them. When we stop seeing creativity as something we possess and start viewing it as something we receive, the pressure lifts. We become participants in a sacred unfolding rather than architects of forced outcomes. And in that space of surrender, true magic happens. The pen flows effortlessly. The melody writes itself. The brush moves as if guided by an unseen hand. Creativity, like faith, requires us to step back and allow the divine to move through us. There comes a moment in every creative journey when things just click, a sudden insight, an unexpected opportunity, a chance encounter that shifts everything. Some call it coincidence, but those attuned to the deeper rhythms of the universe recognize it for what it is: synchronicity. These moments are not random. They are divine signals, subtle winks from the universe guiding us toward our creative destiny. When we open ourselves to the flow of inspiration, we begin to see patterns, connections, and signs that seem almost too perfect to be accidental. The right book appears when we need it. A conversation sparks an idea at just the right time. A door opens exactly when we are ready to walk through it. Biblically, this concept is woven throughout the stories of faith. Consider Joseph, sold into slavery, imprisoned unjustly, yet positioned at the perfect moment to interpret Pharaoh's dream and save a nation. Genesis 41:39-41. None of it was coincidence. Every event, every hardship, was part of a larger tapestry, aligning him with his purpose. Creativity operates in the same way. The pieces may not always make sense in the moment, but when we trust the process, we begin to see the bigger picture. The universe is always speaking. We just have to listen. Creativity is not a solitary endeavor. It is a dance between the individual and the divine, a conversation between the soul and something greater. Have you ever had an idea strike out of nowhere, only to see something related to it moments later? A song that answers a question you were pondering. A stranger mentioning exactly what you needed to hear. These are not coincidences. They are invitations. When we enter a state of creative openness, we align ourselves with a higher frequency, one where synchronicities become common. Artists, writers, and thinkers throughout history have spoken about ideas, choosing them, as if creativity itself seeks those who are ready to bring it into the world. The question is, are we paying attention? Are we making space for these moments of divine alignment? To cultivate creativity, we must also cultivate awareness. Jesus often said, "He who has ears to hear, let him hear." Matthew 11:15. This is the essence of creative synchronicity, learning to listen. This means noticing patterns, keeping a journal of unexpected connections, and trusting those intuitive nudges that defy logic. It means stepping away from rigid plans and allowing space for the unexpected. Many of the most groundbreaking innovations came from moments of chance, yet they only materialized because someone was willing to act on them. When we trust synchronicity, we move from effort to ease, from control to co-creation. The universe is conspiring in our favor, constantly dropping breadcrumbs along our path. Creativity is not about forcing inspiration, it is about receiving it. When we embrace this truth, our creative process transforms. Instead of chasing ideas, we become magnets for them. Instead of struggling against resistance, we move with the flow of divine timing. And in doing so, we discover that we are never truly creating alone. We are always in partnership with something far greater than ourselves. Creativity is like a muscle. It grows stronger with practice. Yet many people believe that inspiration is something unpredictable, something that comes and goes as it pleases. The truth is, creativity can be cultivated, trained, and expanded. This 8-day challenge is designed to help unlock your creative potential by fostering presence, intuition, and courage. Each day presents a simple yet powerful exercise to help you break free from creative blocks and align yourself with the flow of inspiration. The goal is not perfection, it is expansion. By the end of this journey, you will not only have a deeper connection with your creative self, but also with the universe as a source of endless ideas. Day 1. Practicing presence. The first step to unlocking creativity is learning to be here now. Too often, our minds are consumed by the past or the future, leaving no space for inspiration to emerge. Today's challenge is simple. Sit in silence for 10 minutes, focusing solely on your breath. Observe your thoughts without judgment, as if you were watching clouds pass through the sky. As distractions arise, gently return your focus to the present. This practice trains the mind to slow down, making room for new ideas to surface. As Jesus said, "Não vos inquieteis pelo dia de amanhã," Matthew 6:34. Creativity can only flourish in the now. Day 2. Reconnecting with the body. Creativity is not just a mental process, it is deeply connected to the body. Movement unlocks stagnant energy, freeing the mind to explore new ideas. Today, engage in a mindful movement practice. Take a slow, intentional walk, paying close attention to how your feet connect with the ground. Stretch, dance, or do any movement that feels intuitive. Notice how shifting your physical state affects your thoughts. The body holds wisdom, and when we listen to it, we open new creative pathways. Day 3. Observing with fresh eyes. We often move through the world on autopilot, missing the beauty in the ordinary. Today, choose a familiar space, a park, a street, or even your own room, and observe it as if seeing it for the first time. Notice colors, shapes, patterns, and textures. Write down at least 5 details you had never noticed before. This practice sharpens your perception, allowing you to recognize inspiration in unexpected places. The universe speaks in subtle ways. The more you train yourself to notice, the more ideas will begin to flow. Day 4. Embracing inner silence. True creativity requires space for deep reflection. Today's challenge is about accessing that space. Close your eyes and imagine your thoughts as leaves floating down a river. Let them pass without attachment. The goal is not to force the mind into silence, but to allow stillness to emerge naturally. This practice enhances intuition and allows insights to arise effortlessly. As Elijah found God not in wind or fire, but in subtle silence, 1 Kings 19:11-12, we can also find creative answers when we learn to hear what is unsaid. Day 5. Writing your story. Every person carries within them a unique story, a reservoir of experiences that can fuel creativity. Today, write about a moment in your life that changed you. It does not need to be polished or structured, just let the words flow. The act of writing helps clarify emotions, transforming scattered thoughts into tangible ideas. Many great works of art stem from personal truth. This exercise is not just about storytelling, it is about uncovering the wisdom within your own experiences. Day 6. Connecting with nature. The natural world is one of the greatest sources of inspiration. Today, spend time outside without distractions. No phone, no music, just observation. Notice the way the wind moves through the trees, the rhythm of the waves, the intricate patterns in leaves. Many biblical figures encountered divine revelation in nature. Moses on Mount Sinai, Jesus in the desert. Nature holds secrets waiting to be uncovered. Let it remind you of the vastness of the universe and your place within it. Day 7. Practicing creative gratitude. Creativity flourishes in an environment of gratitude. Today, reflect on past moments of inspiration. Write down 3 creative breakthroughs you have experienced, no matter how small. Gratitude shifts the mind's focus from scarcity to abundance, reinforcing the belief that inspiration is always available. What we acknowledge, we attract more of. Recognizing the creative moments of the past sets the stage for future breakthroughs. Day 8. Sharing your creation. Creativity is meant to be shared. Today, take something you have created, whether it's a piece of writing, a song, an idea, and share it with someone. This could be a friend, a mentor, or even an online community. The act of sharing strengthens creative confidence and invites feedback that can lead to growth. No idea flourishes in isolation. Just as the disciples were sent out to spread their message, creativity, too, is meant to be released into the world. This challenge is not just about sparking creativity for 8 days. It is about developing a mindset that continues long after. The more you cultivate presence, curiosity, and courage, the more creativity becomes a natural state of being. The journey does not end here, it is only the beginning. Creativity is not a destination, it is a path we walk every day. Many believe that inspiration is something fleeting, an occasional spark that comes and goes. But true creativity is a way of life. It is woven into how we think, how we observe the world, and how we engage with the universe. When we embrace this mindset, we realize that every moment holds the potential for creation. A simple conversation, a walk through the city, an unexpected challenge. Each of these is an invitation to see beyond the ordinary, to find meaning in the mundane. The creative journey never truly ends, because the universe itself is in a constant state of unfolding. Some of the greatest minds in history understood this truth. Leonardo da Vinci was not just a painter, he was an inventor, a scientist, a thinker who never stopped questioning the world around him. His notebooks are filled with observations on everything from human anatomy to the flight of birds, proving that creativity is not confined to one discipline. It thrives in curiosity, in the relentless pursuit of knowledge and understanding. The same applies to our own creative paths. We are not meant to be confined by labels. Painter, writer, musician. Creativity is fluid, ever-changing, adapting to the seasons of our lives. The moment we stop exploring, we stop growing. Spiritually, this journey mirrors our relationship with faith. The Bible reminds us, "Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness." Matthew 6:33. Just as faith is an ongoing pursuit, creativity is a continuous unfolding. There is no ultimate masterpiece, no ultimate achievement, only deeper levels of discovery. The greatest artists and visionaries understand that each work is a stepping stone to the next. Even God, in his infinite wisdom, did not create the world in an instant. Creation was a process, a sequence of intentional steps leading to something greater. Likewise, our own creative endeavors evolve over time. We must allow ourselves to grow, to make mistakes, to learn from the process rather than fixating on the outcome. One of the biggest barriers to lifelong creativity is fear. The fear of failure, of judgment, of not being good enough. But creativity is not about reaching a level of perfection, it is about showing up. Many people abandon their creative pursuits because they believe their work is not worthy. But if you wait until you feel ready, you may never begin. The truth is, readiness comes through action. The more we create, the more we refine our skills, the more we uncover new insights. The journey itself is the teacher. Every mistake, every unfinished project, every failed attempt is part of the process. The only true failure is stopping. The universe rewards those who persist. Creativity is not something separate from life. It is embedded in the way we move through the world. The most powerful ideas often come when we least expect them, in moments of stillness, in the spaces between thoughts. When we embrace creativity as a lifelong practice, we open ourselves to endless possibilities. We begin to see the divine in the details, the sacred in the ordinary. And in doing so, we realize that the journey itself is the masterpiece. True creativity is not just about what we make, it is about who we become in the process. Every act of creation is an act of transformation, shaping not only the world around us, but also the depths of our own being. The moment we pick up a pen, a brush, or an instrument, we are not simply producing something new. We are engaging in an ancient and sacred process that mirrors the very nature of the divine. In Genesis, God did not just create the world, he spoke it into existence. Let there be light, Genesis 1:3, and there was light. Creation is an extension of divine will, an expression of infinite possibility. And when we create, we too tap into that divine force. The act of creating changes us because it demands that we move beyond limitations, both external and internal. It asks us to confront fear, to push past doubt, to step into the unknown with nothing but faith. Moses did not see himself as a leader, yet he was called to free an entire people. Exodus 3:11-12. David was just a shepherd boy before he became a king. 1 Samuel 16:11-13. Their journeys required transformation, a shedding of old identities to embrace something greater. Creativity works the same way. Every time we create, we are reshaping ourselves, stepping closer to our fullest potential. It is not just about producing something, it is about allowing ourselves to become something more. Many resist this process because transformation is uncomfortable. Growth requires discomfort, just as a seed must break open before it can become a tree. The creative journey is filled with obstacles, moments of frustration, self-doubt, and imperfection. But these moments are necessary. The sculptor does not fear the rough edges of the stone. He understands that the shape is revealed through the act of chiseling away. What we often see as failure is simply refinement. The masterpiece is already within. We are merely uncovering it. The key is perseverance, the willingness to keep going even when the vision is unclear. Creativity is also a bridge, a way to connect the internal and the external, the spiritual and the tangible. It allows us to translate thoughts into form, emotions into something others can experience. This is why art, music, and storytelling resonate so deeply. They carry the essence of transformation. Jesus spoke in parables, using stories to convey deeper truths. Matthew 13:34-35. The same applies to all forms of creation. Each piece carries a message, an energy that extends beyond the creator. This is why the creative process is never just about the individual. What we create has the power to shift perspectives, to inspire change, to touch lives in ways we may never fully understand. In the end, creativity is not just a skill, it is a calling. It is an invitation to participate in the ongoing act of creation that began before time itself. To create is to engage with the mystery of existence, to embrace the unknown with open hands, to trust that what flows through us has purpose. The world is not in need of more passive observers. It is in need of creators, of visionaries, of those willing to shape the unseen into reality. The question is not whether we are capable of creating. The question is, are we willing to answer the call? Creativity is not a rare gift, nor is it reserved for a select few. It is a force within each of us, waiting to be awakened. When we understand that creating is more than just an action, it is a state of being, a direct connection to something greater, we begin to see the world through a new lens. But now the real question is, what will you do with this knowledge? I want to hear from you. What was the biggest insight you gained from this video? Which part resonated most with your creative and spiritual journey? Drop a comment below and share your thoughts, because your experience might inspire someone else on the same path. And if this video brought you value, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. That way, you won't miss any of our future content designed to help you deepen your connection with creativity and the universe. If you're ready to take this journey even further, check out the next video appearing on your screen. It's the perfect follow-up to everything you've just learned. Until next time, this is Celestial Truths, and I'll see you in the next video.